there, Magic the Gathering players. Barry White here with MagicUntapped.com and Magic Untapped on YouTube. With me is Seth.
Probably better known as Saffron Olive.
And Seth, there's been a lot of changes with Magic the Gathering, especially it seems just in the last couple months, would you say?
Yeah, it has been a super busy couple of months for sure.
And one of those really big, probably the biggest headline with all these changes has been around Commander.
Yeah.
Say what you will, something is for the better, something is for the worse. Just broad strokes first, Seth, where do you lie on this? Where do you see all these sudden big, I would say drastic changes with Commander? Where do you see it right now today?
We're still kind of in that state of upheaval a little bit, right? Where I'm not sure where we're going to end up exactly, which is a weird feeling for Commander because one of the hallmarks, I would say, of the format is stability. And this is the least stable, I think, the format's felt since I've been playing. And I've been playing for a while now. I'm kind of on the nervous, I would say, about WotC taking over for the RC. But I can also understand why it was maybe necessary with some of the stuff that went down in the last couple of months.
Now, is this a glass half full nervous or glass half empty nervous?
I think it's a glass half full nervous. There's definitely upsides of Wizards being in charge. They just have way more resources. They're making the cards. It's kind of crazy when you think about it that a volunteer group was running this, like, the biggest format of $1 billion company.
But so a fan format.
A fan format, yeah, that's where it started out, at least. It's kind of evolved over the years. But yeah, that's definitely the roots of the format. So I think it's glass half full. There's positives and negatives, I would say, of the Commander changes. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
I mean, with some of the writing on the wall, where do you see this maybe going as far as just the format as an umbrella?
So honestly, I don't think much is really going to change in the long run. I think long term, the great thing about Commander is you can play Commander however you want to play it. That's what made the format so great. It's a playgroup format, right? Where
it's a kitchen table format.
It's a kitchen table format. You have friends that you play with, you get together and you play your decks. So there's a lot of stuff they're trying to do, this new bracket thing and all these changes. My guess is a lot of people are just going to be like, I play on my kitchen table, I play with my friends, we're going to keep doing what we've always done. And a year or two from now, things are not going to look, as far as the format itself, meaningfully different. The concerns would be like, are we going to see more Jeweled Lotuses? The profit incentive of Wizards being in control? Are there going to be more busted cards? Are we going to see a proliferation of products even more than we've seen? So those would be some of the glass half empty side of things that I see.
And now all the rules committee and CAG are no more. We just very recently, within the last week or two, got this new panel, a new Wizards appointed panel, but a new panel nevertheless. Some of those people were on the RC and were on the CAG, along with some fresh blood. I mean, you've seen the names on that list. Give me your thoughts on that.
So when the changes were announced, when it was announced that Wizards was going to be taking over the format, the first thing I said was, if this is going to work, Gavin needs to run it, just like he does the Pauper format. Get his crew of community members, let them do their thing, because I would say Pauper is the best managed format, mostly because of Gavin and just his passion for the game, and I just love Gavin as a person. So I'm very excited to see that that's kind of the direction they went, and I think their choices seem really good. We'll see where it ends up long term, because they've talked about it's going to change next year. This is going to kind of be a rotating cast of characters to some extent, but I think for their initial run of the panel, super solid choices.
So it sounds like that's part of the glass half full.
Yes, Gavin, like setting up this panel is probably my favorite thing about all of this. Yeah.
And moving beyond talking about Commander, looking ahead a little bit, we have some new sets coming out, such as this Death Race set. I know we only know a finite amount, but multiple planes. Sounds like it might be like a Cannonball Run sort of a thing, Fast and Furious sort of thing. I mean, what are you thinking about that looking forward?
It sounds interesting. It's going to be unique. I don't think we've ever seen a set really like that before, but we've seen it a lot recently, where we're going to the Old West and we're doing murder mysteries. So I think it'll be a super cool plane. I'm also very interested to see how this new Universes Beyond stuff goes next year with like the Spider-Man set and Final Fantasy set and some of that stuff. So it should be a very exciting year at least.
I was actually going to segue into that because you and I in the previous interviews have talked a little bit about Universes Beyond, and you and I both are a little skeptical about it, but now that we have, I mean, it's here to stay.
Yep.
We have these big name things. We had Assassin's Creed recently. We have Final Fantasy coming out. We have multiple Marvel things coming out. Has your opinion changed a little bit on Universes Beyond?
I've warmed up to it a bit. There's still
a bit.
There's still things I don't really especially like about it. I could still see the criticism. Like, I still worry that. I would say that the optimal thing for Magic would be if Magic's IP was so strong that other games were adding chase to them because Magic is just such a great IP. I worry that that's less likely to happen if we focus more on these other really good IPs. But I would say seeing how they executed the Lord of the Rings set and like the Warhammer precons has made me much more comfortable with the idea. There's still some Universes Beyond sets where I'm kind of like, Doctor Who was one where I was kind of like, this just doesn't really fit Magic for me and it feels weird for me. But a lot of them have been way better than I would have expected. So I'm warming up to it as we go along.
I mean, mechanically they made Doctor Who work just fine.
Oh, the cards work fine.
The theming, I get it.
The flavor, and I should say I'm not really a Doctor Who fan, so maybe if I was passionate about that IP, I'd feel differently.
That actually does weigh into it a bit. I mean, if you're not a Marvel guy, do you really care about these Marvel Universes Beyond sets?
No,
you know?
And I'm not. I don't know what an X-Man is. That's one of the things about me is I don't really keep up on like superheroes and stuff. But I love seeing how excited other people get. Like,
and they do.
I work with Krim a lot, like at MTGGoldfish, and he just loves Marvel, and just seeing how excited he is for Doctor Strange being in Magic, that kind of makes me happy, even if I'm like, I don't know, I'm not going to play that card in my deck.
For him.
Yeah, and I like to see when people are excited for things, and I see a lot of people being really excited for these sets, so even if I'm not personally that excited, I can still enjoy it through them.
And Seth, let's just look ahead the next 6 to 12 months in your own head, in Magic the Gathering. Where do you see the game for you?
Ooh, so for me in specific, I think it's probably going to be about the same as it has been. Like, I love playing the game. I love playing all the formats. So I think I'm going to keep doing kind of what I've always been doing. But I think we're going to see a lot of new players coming in, and that's something I'm really hyped for seeing. I've told this story before, like the Fortnite Universes Beyond might be one of the most criticized from the Magic community.
I was one of those voices, yes.
But then I have a little nephew who's 10 years old, and Fortnite's like his favorite game, and that was my chance to like teach him Magic, was like, here's these Fortnite cards, you love Fortnite, check this out, this Magic game. So even that, which for me was probably one of the worst crossovers they've done, there was a positive there. So I'm hoping that we'll see this big growth of new players coming in because of these crossovers. At some point, there's something for everybody. Yeah. Yes. Well, Seth, thank you very much for joining us here on Magic Untapped. I'm going to sign off Barry White from Magic Untapped, and Seth, why don't you send us off with yours? Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it, and this is a crew signing out.